Hi guys, Neil Tappin here from Golf Monthly, and you join me here on the 18th green at Carnoustie. Carnoustie will play host to the Open Championship this year, and in mid-July the winner of the Open will be hoisting the claret jug on the green right behind me here. Now famously, Carnoustie is supposed to be the hardest golf course on the Open Rota and one of the fairest golf courses in the world, and that's why we're here. So myself, Mike Harris, Fergus Bissett, all from Golf Monthly, have made the journey up from London this morning, and we've come to find out just how difficult this golf course is, how hard it is, not for the best players in the world, but for your average amateurs. Let's go and take a look. Okay, so we've just reached the 6th hole, and this is Hogan's alley, and this really is where the severity of the challenge really sort of hits you in the face. And when you look at it on this yardage book, it doesn't look that intimidating, but when you stand here for real and you see how close down the left-hand side of the hole this out of bounds fence runs, it runs all the way down the side of this hole. When you see that for yourself, it is incredibly intimidating, and as I just did, blasted one way out to the right, perfectly safe, not in any trouble, but certainly shots like that don't win you the Open Championship. That's why Ben Hogan managed to hit 4 consecutive tee shots, 4 consecutive days down that channel on the left-hand side. It takes balls of steel to do that. How far is it across there, Ferg?
25 yards.
25 yards.
Yeah.
That is quite... To do that with a card in your hand, quite impressive. No wonder he won the Open. Okay, a quick pause from the golf to show you this place, Simpsons Golf Shop. This is the 2nd oldest golf shop in the world, established 1883, and as you can see, it's incredibly close to the 18th green. It's probably half a wedge away from the 18th green. And the thing about this shop that's really interesting is that it has the biggest collection of bag tags, they think, in the world. It's around about 2,700, all on the ceiling inside. And you should be able to identify golf clubs from all over the world in that shop. During Open Week, this place will be incredibly busy as people pop in to get their little piece of memorabilia. So this is the inside of the hotel that's just behind the 18th green, and I'm going to show you through one of the rooms. This is my room here. If you wander through, bathroom in there, bedroom is here, very nice and bright, and then you look out of the window and not too bad. Sorry, I'm going to come around here and you'll just see behind us. This is the 8th green.
Yeah.
And it's actually, you reach this part of the course, it's sort of strangely tree-lined, isn't it?
It's quite serene at this part of the course, actually. I always quite enjoy it. I remember following Monty in a practice round before 2007, and I joined him here, and he was, as he always does, practices late when no one else is around. and I followed him for a few holes, and there was an open arms just by the 10th green. And I stopped and had a pint there and just thought, the weather was kind of like this, and it's just heaven on earth.
Yeah, it's one thing I would say is if you are thinking about coming to the Open here at Carnoustie, try and make the effort to come down to this end of the golf course, as far away from the clubhouse and the spectacular 18th as you're going to find. But as Fergus says, it's really serene, and a lot of other people won't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
We both were here in 2007, and in the last round following Sergio Garcia out here, it was almost like a normal Sunday afternoon knock. There were a handful of people out who made it out here, and it's such a good part of the golf course because it's a really strong test.
Well, it's a really good variety out here as well. You've got this par 3, which, you know, on paper doesn't look that difficult, 180 odd yards, but in fact OB left, not nice, bunkers right, not nice at all. So yeah, it sees a lot of disasters, and then the next three par 4s are very strong, so yeah, it's an excellent section to watch on.
Talking about the bunkers right, I have found myself in rather a tricky spot.
That is tricky.
There, can you see that? I think so. Yeah, nasty. This is supposed to be the toughest golf course on the Open Rotor. It doesn't feel like it right now because we're playing it with absolutely not a breath of wind. But how hard do you think this golf course is? I mean, how hard is it for the average player as opposed to the top players in the world?
For the average player, it's a very, very, very strong test of your game. It's relentless from tee to green. You know, some of the bunkering sits in the fairway, means that it's very easy to get in there, and it's absolutely...
What do you mean by that, it sits in the fairway?
Well, I mean, just walking up here, up the 14th, you've got 3 bunkers across at driving distance.
I'll just show you where we are. Hang on.
Driving distance.
You've got Fergus there walking ahead.
And the centre one there is in the fairway, so very easy to you know, hit a decent shot, but to end up in a fairway bunker.
So is it tougher than Birkdale?
Yes.
Is it tougher than Turnberry?
Yeah.
Is it tougher than St George's?
Yes.
Is it tougher than Troon?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all so hard.
They are all very you know, exacting golf courses, but I think that Carnoustie is just, it's relentless from the first tee shot to putting out at 18. I think that's one of the things as well around the greens, that you know, there are lots of runoffs. You know, you really have got to have a great short game, great imagination as well to compile a score and to keep a score going. And the Open definitely will be, you know, somebody who's got their short game really on.
Okay, so here we are. This is one of the spectacle bunkers here at Carnoustie. They are one of the most recognisable hazards, features on the golf course, and any potential Open champion is going to want to avoid these two like the plague. Okay, so just to show you how hard they are to get out from, I've placed 2 in this bunker. One up against the face, which is what you're more likely to face if you've come in from the fairway with a 2-iron or something, and one towards the back of the bunker, which should be a lot easier. Let's see how we get on. Bit skinny, but possibly on the green. And this one is pretty much dead. I'm going to see how close I can get this one to the green, because I think there's half a chance. Although, albeit today, there is absolutely no wind, so you've got half a chance. I'm going to see how close I can get it. Oh, dear beauty. Come on. That is how you get out of the spectacles. Okay, so we've got to the end of a really long day filming. We've just finished up on the 15th. We weren't quite able to squeeze in all 18 holes with all the filming and stuff that we were doing, but we are going to be the first people out tomorrow morning. We're going to come straight out to the 15th and we're going to carry on. What an evening we've had to play this golf course and see it. in this light. It's absolutely spectacular. Hello everyone, morning of day 2. We've come back out to the 15th tee to finish off from where we left off last night, and there's a little bit of a sea fog going on. That is the view down the 15th hole. I really can't see anything at all. So I think we're going to have to give it a little bit of time for this fog to clear before we crack on. One thing I wanted to say is the 18th here at Carnoustie, is that the hardest hole in golf? It might be. It's not a bad nomination for the hardest hole in golf. If not, hit the pause button. Let us know what your nomination would be for the hardest hole in golf. I think the 18th here is one of the hardest for sure. Let me know your thoughts. Right, so I stood just in front of the stand at the 16th hole, and this is definitely one of the best spots to watch the golf from if you're thinking about coming to the Open this year. If I spin around, you'll be able to see one of the greenkeepers there is just cutting the 16th green. And then over my shoulder here, that's the 17th tee box there. So you get a good view of the 17th drive, but also, if I just walk up here a little bit, you might be able to see. You also get a really good view of 18. So just to the right here, you've got the Barry Burn. Got the Barry Burn running just behind me there, and some of the players are going to get quite close to that, I would think, off the 18th tee. And then if I spin round, behind me you have the hotel and obviously the 18th green in front of that. So if you are thinking about coming to the Open, this is definitely one of the best spots to watch the golf from. I'm going to take a moment here to show you the view from the 18th tee. This has to be one of the most intimidating positions any golfer can find themselves on. There's just out of bounds hard down the left hand side. Anything hooking is out of bounds. I remember in 2007 standing just to the left of this tee and seeing Sergio Garcia holding his 3-iron, thinking you're going to leave yourself so far back, but it is such an intimidating tee shot. I can understand why he did what he did, because those bunkers on the right hand side are pretty evil, to be honest with you, and you've also got the burn if you really flay one out on the right hand side. So there is just no bailout on this hole. The line is the clock on the hotel, and you've just got to hit a great shot. You've got to pick your line and commit to it and somehow try and make a good swing. I think the truth is 5 here is not a bad score all the way through the week. If you can average maybe 4.5 on this hole, you're probably beating the field. Right, I've left myself with something of a dilemma. I'm in this bunker, Miller's bunker. I've got 165 yards to go to the green, about 155 to carry the burn, and it's touch and go. I sort of think I could possibly pull it off, and I'm only here once, so I think I better give it a go. Okay, so this is where my second shot from the bunker finished. Can't quite believe it finished there. A little bit unlucky actually, just came off the shoulder. Okay, so we've reached the end. That's it from Carnoustie. What a couple of days. We couldn't have had better weather. If they get weather like this at the Open, it's fair to say the winning score will be extremely low. However, just as I say that, I can feel the wind starting to get up now, and mid-July you can expect to see quite a bit of wind here, I'd say. So a few thoughts about the golf course. Firstly, I think for Open Week, the players are really going to have to do their homework. When playing this golf course, you really need to know where you can't miss. I'm not too familiar with it. I've played it a couple of times before. Couldn't remember it too well and missed it in a couple of spots that are just absolutely dead. The best you can do is make a bogey. It also has, without a shadow of a doubt, probably the most exciting closing stretch anywhere in golf. And I'd actually put Augusta into that as well. It's such an exciting finish here because the 18th hole there is trouble everywhere. Left, right, you've got the burn, you've got bunkers, there is trouble everywhere. Avoiding that trouble is so hard, and the fairway itself is incredibly narrow. The story about the 18th actually is that it was always a very good golf course, but they didn't feel that it was befitting of a big championship. So in the 1930s, it was actually a member of the golf club that redesigned the last 4 holes, brought in the Barry Burn in certain strategic positions, and made it much more of a challenging final stretch, and in doing so also made it a really exciting final stretch. Now the other thing about Carnoustie is everyone always says it, but it's worth underlining, it's incredibly fair. It's right there in front of you. There's a couple of half blind shots, but really there's no blind shots. It's not like a lot of old-fashioned golf courses in the UK, certainly links golf courses in the UK, where you find yourself hitting blind tee shots, even blind second shots. You don't have that here. The trouble is in front of you, and it just makes for a really fair test. You know where to hit it as soon as you stand on the tee. All the bunkers are pointing you in the right direction. It's just a question of whether actually you've got the ability to do what the golf course is asking you to do. One thing is for sure, the Open Championship here will be so exciting. Anyone who's in with a sniff of winning the Open is going to want a massive lead heading into those final 4 holes. Anything less than about 4 shots and I think you'd be very, very worried standing on the 18th tee. Guys, if you've liked the video, please give us a like. But for now, from Carnoustie, it's goodbye.